Have you ever thought that itching might have a spiritual meaning? Have you ever wondered if it could be more than just an annoying physical sensation? What if we told you that itching could carry a deep spiritual message that no one has ever mentioned? A message from your body, mind and spirit trying to communicate something important to you. Imagine discovering this secret message and living in harmony with yourself and the world around you. Sounds intriguing, right? In the heart of Japan, in an ancient monastery, a wise monk named Tetsuo has dedicated his life to exploring such mysteries. In this fascinating Zen story, we will take you on a journey to uncover ancient wisdom and a new perspective on itching. You will learn how itching can be a sign of imbalance, an invitation to healing, and a chance for spiritual growth. Stay with us until the end of the video, and you'll understand how to tell when itching is just a physical annoyance and when it is a spiritual messenger. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated with our content for your spiritual growth. The morning sun filtered through the leaves of the maple trees at the Zen monastery of Komeyoji, illuminating the serene, wrinkled face of the venerable monk Tetsuo. His disciples, seated in a semicircle around him, eagerly awaited his words. Tetsuo was known for his profound teachings and enigmatic parables that could touch the heart and awaken the mind. On this day, however, the topic seemed unusually mundane and earthly. "My dear disciples," the monk began with an enigmatic smile, "today I want to talk to you about a phenomenon we have all experienced but few truly understand: itching." A murmur of surprise spread among the disciples. "Itching? What could that have to do with spirituality, Master?" asked Sakura, a young disciple with raven-black hair. "Isn't itching just a physical annoyance, a symptom of an allergy or irritation?" Tetsuo nodded. "In many cases, Sakura, you are right, but itching can be much more than a physical ailment. It can be a messenger, a signal from our body, mind and spirit to get our attention." "A messenger?" asked Taro, an older disciple with a thick white beard. "And what is this messenger telling us?" "That," Tetsuo replied, "is the question we must ask ourselves every time we feel an itch. What is our body telling us? What is our mind telling us? What is our spirit telling us?" He paused thoughtfully. Often we think of itching as a simple physical discomfort caused by an insect bite, an allergy, or dry skin. And in many cases this is true, but there is another level of meaning, a spiritual meaning that we often ignore. The disciples listened intently, captivated by their mentor's words. "Itching," Tetsuo continued, "can be a sign of imbalance, of disharmony. It can indicate that something is wrong in our life, that there is an area that requires our attention and healing. It can be an invitation to look inside ourselves, to explore our emotions, our thoughts and our actions." Tetsuo paused, letting his words sink in. "I remember a time when a persistent itch tormented me. I couldn't concentrate on meditation or find peace in my thoughts. At first, I thought it was just an allergic reaction to pollen, but the itching persisted even after taking medicine." "What did you do, Master?" Sakura asked with concern and curiosity. "I began to meditate on the itch itself," replied the Master. "I observed the sensations and explored the emotions that came with it. Slowly, I began to understand that the itching was a reflection of a deep anxiety I had repressed, related to an important decision I had to make." "And then?" Taro asked. "What did you do to turn this discovery into something positive?" "Once I recognized and addressed that anxiety, the itching went away," Tetsuo replied. "I realized that my body was sending me a signal, an invitation to take care of my mind and spirit. The itch, my dears, is a call to action. It is an invitation to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, and spiritually to find balance, harmony, and inner peace. The disciples were fascinated. Tetsuo's words had opened their eyes to a new way of seeing itching beyond simple physical discomfort. Thanks to the master's explanations, they realized that throughout their lives, they had often felt itching without a specific physical reason. "But, Master," Sakura asked, "how can we distinguish between a physical itch and a spiritual one?" "It's not always easy, Sakura," the monk replied, "but there are some clues we can look for. A spiritual itch tends to be persistent, unresponsive to physical treatments, and accompanied by other sensations or emotions such as anxiety, frustration, or restlessness." Tetsuo continued, "Furthermore, a spiritual itch can manifest in specific areas of the body, each of which has a symbolic meaning. For example, itchy hands can indicate a desire to take action or change something in our life. Itchy feet can suggest a need for grounding, for stability, or to find a place where we can feel like ourselves. An itchy head can be a sign of mental confusion or thought overload." The disciples listened intently, taking mental notes. The lesson on itching became more and more interesting. Tetsuo, looking his disciples in the eyes, continued his lesson by telling the story of a new disciple who had once arrived at the monastery. The young man, Hiroshi, was tormented by constant itching in his hands. He had consulted numerous doctors, but none had been able to find a cause or cure. Desperate, Hiroshi decided to seek help at the monastery, hoping to find relief in Tetsuo's wisdom. The monk welcomed Hiroshi warmly and invited him to share his story. The young man spoke of his hectic life, stressful job, and constant dissatisfaction. He had always sought happiness externally, accumulating material goods and chasing ephemeral successes, but nothing seemed to quench his internal itch. Tetsuo listened carefully, nodding occasionally. When Hiroshi finished speaking, the monk said, "Hiroshi, your itchy hands are not just a physical ailment. It is a sign that your soul is restless, that there is an unexpressed desire burning inside you. Your hands, tools of action and creation, are asking you to express your true nature, to follow your passion." Hiroshi was confused. "But Master," he said, "I don't know what my true passion is. I have always done what others expected of me, what society considered right and appropriate." Tetsuo nodded. "Your true passion, Hiroshi, is like a seed buried deep in the earth. It needs to be nurtured, cared for, and brought to light. Start exploring your interests. Experiment with new activities. Follow your curiosity, and above all, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Only by trying and trying again will you discover what truly makes your soul vibrate." Inspired by Tetsuo's words, Hiroshi began to dedicate time each day to self-discovery. He experimented with painting, writing, music, dancing, cooking, and gardening. Every activity opened new doors for him, revealing aspects of himself he didn't know. Slowly, the itching in his hands began to subside. One day, while working in the monastery garden, Hiroshi felt a deep and unexpected joy. His hands, immersed in the earth, seemed to dance among the plants, creating harmony and beauty. In that moment, Hiroshi understood that his true passion was nature, caring for the earth and its creatures. From that day on, he enthusiastically dedicated himself to gardening, transforming the monastery garden into an oasis of peace and abundance. The itching in his hands completely disappeared, replaced by a feeling of contentment and serenity. He had found his true calling, his purpose in life. The disciples reflected on the story they had just heard, understanding the profound message it contained. Itching, like life itself, was a journey, an opportunity for growth and transformation. From that day forward, Tetsuo's disciples began to see itching with different eyes. It was no longer just an annoyance, but an opportunity, an invitation to explore their inner world and find peace, balance, and healing. In the following days, the disciples began to share their experiences with itching. Sakura told how an itchy throat had pushed her to express an opinion she had long repressed, freeing her from an internal burden. Taro spoke of an itchy leg that had led him to embark on a pilgrimage, discovering new perspectives and renewed motivation in his spiritual practice. Every itch, every signal from the body, became an opportunity to deepen self-knowledge, face fears and insecurities, and embrace change. The Komeyoji monastery became a place of healing and transformation, where itching, once seen as an annoying symptom, was transformed into a precious ally on the spiritual path. And Tetsuo, the wise monk, continued to guide his disciples with love and compassion, teaching them to listen to their bodies and find inner peace.